Today we're going to paint this still life. You'll see the photo that we're painting it from now. Right, first of all we're going to get the drawing done. We're going to be looking at so everything now with drawing this is going to be in relation to the edges of the paper or to the horizon line or to the edge of the table. It gives you a sort of working point. The most important piece of these to show is where the light is going to hit it. The rest of it is pretty much going to be lost in shadows, so these are the most important pieces. See that this apple starts off, it's slightly below the line of that, so it's about here. We've got about that much gap between them. Just do lots of lines and then pick the one that's the right one and just rub out the rest of them. Just put that in as well, which is going to be about here somewhere. I'll be concerned that this one is meant to start a lot further over, so I think it needs to be quite a bit bigger. As well, when you take the angle of the edges between them to work out where they are in relation to each other, you can see that this really does need to come down quite a bit more, so we're looking at that sort of thing instead. Put a picture. That's not quite an edge in there, it's a mango, so it's oval shaped, not circular. Right, so then we've got one grape there. We've got the grape that we can see right in the middle of them, which is about here. So I may need to actually increase the size of these, we'll see now. Okay, and then we've got one there, one there. One there, one there. Then we've got one in the middle here. And we have one there. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, we have several actually. So this is actually one after the other, like this. Another one just there like that. And then this side of it we have another one down here, which we're probably not even going to see, but we'll put it in anyway. And then we have a little bit of sort of green stuff here, so we stick that in. Right, that's our drawing. I just need to rub out some of the lines that aren't right and make just a few calculations to make sure it looks right. Also, I don't really want pencil lines left in my painting, so I'll be softening all of these. It's not so bad in dark areas because the paint will cover it, but in light areas, you definitely don't want harsh pencil lines to be showing up. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Not unhappy with that. I feel that this here, maybe it's, I'll change this angle of that slightly so that it's more of a, the apple is more sort of oblong than it is. That's more like it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So just, right, and I think right, so each of these grapes should be approximately 3.5 times smaller than the apple, and I've done this by just holding my finger, putting my thumbnail on the edge from one end to the other of the grape, and then keeping my arm outstretched, going up to the apple to see how many times they fit in. So let's just do this on here. So if we go for our, that's a grape, that's 1, 2, 3.5. So we've got the scale is about right. It's not too bad. And we've got one at the back there, haven't we? Okay. So just knock those back a little bit. And ready to start getting some paint in. That'll do. Okay. So we're now ready to actually get some paint on. I'll just add to that slightly. Get this pretty lead out of the way. The lead hanging over my head. Oh. Better. Right. Okay, let's have a look at getting some paint on. Right, what colour have we got? So I'm actually going to go in quite strongly with these colours. So I want a really strong, rich cadmium red for the apple. Really get as much in there as we can because we're going to make it run down the page in a minute now. Right, that's that one. Okay, so we've got a bit of red on the top of the mango. Now we're going to need good green. So if the green that you're picking is too vibrant like this, it's very, very powerful. You put some of the complementary colour, which is red, into it, and it greys it out. And at first it looks like it takes it too far, but when you actually keep mixing it, it comes back to a nice colour. But I think we're really going to need on this maybe more of a yellowy green. So keep mixing till I get this right, but I'll actually add some yellow to it. Right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so I think we'll come into there, and then we'll come around into this. Oh yeah, that one is actually meant to be all of that, isn't it? Okay. Right. And we'll put some heavy colour in there because I want it to run down the page, so you need to have enough in there for it to run. Right, now we're going to have a go at mixing up. So I think grape wise this looks like a good colour. So what I'll do is I'll grab some of that burgundy, maybe grab some ordinary red, mix it in, and then we'll go for some blue. I think this is Prussian blue, this one. Try to add some of that. Oh, I've forgotten what it is, pink of some sort, violet, something anyway. It's all the right sort of colour. And see, I'm struggling to mix this the right colour. Let's go ultramarine instead. It's getting closer. I think these are more of a blue than that's more like it. Yeah, so colours that come straight from mix from the tube or from the half pan are always going to be more vibrant than any colour that you mix up. So if you can, try to pick the colours. Right, you see, what for me this is not coming out the right colour. It's too show a bit of red in there. Oof, that's quite a lot, isn't it? Knock it back a little bit with a bit of I think we've got another one in the background there. It doesn't really matter too much at this stage because this is all going to run down the page. They're pretty good, those. Right, we'll give that a minute or two. So are we going to look at a wooden base? I think we'll go for a brown base, but not a wooden base. So I want to add right, let's make up a wood. That's cadmium orange. A bit more cadmium orange. A bit more one of the yellows, I can't remember which one. Ochre, Naples, something like that. It's basically I've got a warm yellow and a cool yellow. That one's cadmium yellow light. Right, so we've got a sort of brown wood type of Right, let's get things a bit wetter here and then start coming in. I'm really quite scrubbing at the paper with this. Oh, that's better. I want to really sort of lose it a bit. Okay, so when we look at this darkest red on the apple, we look at that sort of colour. So we're going to try and put some of that in now. That looks good. Okay, and then we're going to go for some green. Right, and I want this to come back, so let's get a bit of tissue and we're going to try and bring this back a bit like this. Let's bring in some more colour. The same with this here. The same with this here. And all we're doing is just putting the highlights in by letting the now we're going to go for put these back in and let them run. I'm going to take this back off again. I really want to keep that edge if I can. So we'll take that. That's looking good. Okay, and I think I'm going to need that as well. That's looking alright. Okay, let's grab some more of this. Right, we're going to now leave that for a while to dry, so I'll come back in a minute. Right, a little bit of extra water we'll get rid of. Okay, now what's next? I'm not happy with the white background actually, I want to change that, so we're going to get a bit of blue in the background. Because if we make the background a little bit darker, it means that the highlights on things are actually going to stand out more. It's a bit too blue, so I'm going to knock that back with its complementary colour, which is brown. Well, orange, but in my case I found brown is a bit easier to use. That's better, it's a little bit less bright. Right, let's have a look. Okay, I think we need to have a look at the wood that it's standing on. Doesn't look very good. Okay, so just putting the shadows in on the table. That's better. And then we'll preserve some of the brown, even if it is in shadows, so we'll bring that in. Okay, we have a bit of shadow there, don't we? Right, I'm going to come in here and put in some shadows here. Okay. Right, you're now going to go to a smaller brush so you can start putting more details and things in. So this is actually quite a small brush. It says size 4, I think it was. I bought it. Right. That is also these are a Skoda Optimo travel brushes. I think brush is something that you really don't want to skimp on. So we're going to bring in more shadow on this one. Look at it, it comes that way now. Oh, looks pretty good. And then we'll have a look at getting quite a bright, vivid yellow onto this area. And also need to have a look at putting. Right, so this is blend from one colour to the other. Like we've got quite a bit here, which is that sort of. So I'm using neat cadmium yellow light here as well. Tissue, and I really want to keep this hot spot here, quite important. So back over it, pull it back out with the tissue. That's better. Okay, that's good, and I like the way that's just come in and it's taken some of the colour with it. That's really cool. I think looking at the image, there's a sort of quite a yellow tinge to this, almost like a reflected light. So I think I want to come back into that with some of the same yellow, actually. So I'm going to move, I'm going to mix, find something, 1 second, just clean something out. Right, I'm just cleaning out the, I'm going to mix it, I don't want any other colours getting in there, so something like yellow will take any colour. Oh, that's well done, I just put my thumb in it. Okay, right, yeah, so we're going to mix up both yellows to give it sort of a bit more of a warm. There you are, that's a really nice warm, and I'm going to whap a bit of that in there. Yeah, I like that, that's cool. And then a little bit of water just to, again, just let it run. Don't worry about the bottom of the canvas, that'll look after itself. Want it to sort of run quite a bit. Right, this here needs to be a bit darker, and I need to have a look at a very dark green area to go where the stalk goes. So mixed up quite a dark green, and the stalk is sort of here somewhere, isn't it? Like that. Yeah, and I think we're going to come in a bit darker on this as well. So use the rest of this just to darken that up. We're also going to need to darken this. Let's see if I can just get a little bit more. Let's see if I can just get that to run over. Come on, run, 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 run. Ah, that's fine. It's good. Don't want too much, just enough. It still needs to be a lot darker. So I'll grab some more of the, I think it's Viridian green, and then add just a little bit of that red to it, and then get this back in again, because it really needs to be a lot darker than it is. Right, and we've also got a shadow there. I think like that looks good. Then we'll go for some of this yellow here. Now, this is a very hard edge, and I don't want a hard edge there, so a bit more water in. Okay. And we've got another hard edge here which we don't want. In fact, we would really want to bring this around to here. Okay, that looks good. Oh, look at the way that's moving there, it's perfect. Okay, so we still need to bring this light area back in. I can see I've got some green on my brush, which isn't helping. Right, now let's try it again. There we go. Right, so we need... that's the wrong red. Okay, so we need to bring a bit of red in now. And we'll grab a bit of yellow there, because this is quite yellow, some of this. And you can see everywhere we've got a hard edge, it needs just a bit of water on a wet brush and just soften it like that. Same with this here, and I think we've got a little bit of red, a little bit of green in the centre, so we'll grab, what should we have? A little bit of the cool yellow, stick that in there, and actually here as well. A little bit more over here. That's nice, it's looking good. Move it around a bit. Right, we'll leave that be for a minute. Now we're going to have to aim for these grapes, so I'm going to clean out the tray where I mix them. Get a bit of that blue, get a bit of that red, because that seems to make a good, perfect colour. There you go, that looks pretty good. Pretty much making this up as I go along with these, see what they are. So these will all pop out once we put the highlights on. That's the idea. Right. I'm thinking underneath here, I really want to try and come over the edge of the. Okay. Right. Again, I'm going to just let these come down. Quick, take that off. That's not too bad. I'll get rid of that as well, because I don't want that run over from that. That's better. Okay, and then whilst we're at it, by the way, this is ultramarine blue and cadmium red that I'm using for the. I really would like to get this to run just a little bit as well. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm happy. Right. Okay, that looks good. Right, so we've got sort of a yellow spot there, which I quite like, which is the reflection of the cooking apples. So I think we're going to go for, it's about there. Like that. And then we're going to pick up some red. Just soften it. Right, and then we need to bring this up just with some water, just a clean brush it should be, and some water, and just take it up so that we've got no hard edges. While we're saying that, we do need, we've got a quite a hard shadow running across there, so maybe we should have. Like that. No, that one has no edge at all, it's only, that's better. And we'll put in right, and I want that shadow to be a bit better on the back here as well, so I'm going to mix some of the brown with some of the ultramarine. That went a bit dark. Let's get a bit more of the brown in there. Right, and a higher tonal range between the two. A bit more in there, and then I'm going to put some water in again and just sort of balancing between showing the edges that we want and letting it run down, and showing that the history of what's run where with it. I like that, that's really good. Okay, so this feels not right. And for a start we got, okay, let's not worry about that for a minute. Let's get the stalk in. Each time with my brushes, I'm just washing the brush and then getting rid of all the excess water with a flick of the wrist. Okay, so we still need to put that in. I'm not sure if that's dry enough. I'm going to give that a few minutes. I'm quite pleased that it's looking right actually. Okay, I shouldn't. So we need to get the brown desk that it's sitting on in. So that is going to have to come in there, and then it's going to have to come in here. Well, the big secrets to painting is variation in colour. Things shouldn't always look the same colour. Nothing in real life is the same colour. There are different shades all the way through, different reflections, that sort of thing. Now I want to run keeping that shadow from behind there. Shadow actually I think needs to come down a bit more, so we'll grab a bit of that, we'll grab a bit of that. Like that. Oh, that's good. Okay. This front slightly. Okay, that's good. That's better. Okay. Use it. Okay. So I'll come back when this bit's dried. Okay, so this is now dried. A little bit of assistance from the dryer as well, from the hairdryer. So now we can start putting some of the real detail in. Let's just change the water very quickly. Right, fresh water in hand. Right, I have this brush, which it's a rigger at the end, but it has this sort of mop at the beginning, and it actually holds a lot more water than an ordinary rigger. So you find that you can do a lot more without having to dip back and forth into fresh paint. So I'm gonna put in the shadow here, and just some of the little bits that are around it. So let's have a look. And we've got I'll pick up a little bit of black, and later on I'll probably lighten that slightly. So we could do with a bit of green just to put in the shadow there. Still not very happy with where this is going. So don't forget as well that watercolours, just looking at it, yeah, watercolours always lighten up after they're dry, so you can keep putting in dark colours and they keep coming up a lot drier, a lot lighter than you were thinking they would. So this again I feel still needs a bit more, and I think it needs to come up just slightly here as well. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, happy with that. I think we'll bring this back in here. I think what we'll do is we'll bring that lighter down here. So just a clean wet brush up and down a bit in the paint, and then a bit, oh, I should have bought some new tissue, and a bit of tissue. No, that's not really brightened it up, so if I do want to brighten that up I'll have to use a little bit of gouache. So, and I can see that this actually comes across here slightly. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm quite pleased with that. This is still not coming up very dark at all. Yeah, I'll try that. We can always come back into it again. Right, then the next bit that we need to do is this eye, I think it's called an eye, on the bottom of the apple. Well, that's going to be about there-ish. I'm just going to try and work out what colour it is. It looks pretty sort of black to me. So we'll put that in, and I'm going to grab a bit of neat red, and maybe I'll grab a bit of a darker red, this one, and just and then maybe soften them up a little bit with a bit of water. Yeah, doesn't look too bad. Okay. Still want to bring that a bit lighter in, so I'm going to see if I can just lighten that up very slightly again. I love that where the apple, the light bounces from the apple onto it. That's really quite cool. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, and then we've got a much darker right down at the bottom here. We've also got a much darker bit here as well. And just soften all the edges again. Okay, that looks good to me. Right, I feel that this needs darkening up. Like that. Yeah, looking at the apple actually, that's a lot higher than that, it's about here. What I'll do is just add a little bit of water in there and just bring that down into it. By the time that dries, I'll sort of have a nice sort of fade to it. Okay, I like that, that's good. Right, now I can get on with the fun bit of the grapes. So this is my zinc white gouache, which I've used for years now. It lasts, oh god, it lasts pretty much forever, or at least it does for me here. So I always end up putting a little bit, I find it a bit thick to use with a rigger. It's meant to be on a much stiffer brush, so I add a little bit of water. The only thing is, if you add too much water to it, it sort of turns grey instead of white, and that's not so good. So it's this sort of balance between getting it to come off the brush finely and getting it to be quite white. So we're going to start putting some highlights in. So we've got one there, we've got another one here. Now these we'll have to go back into these quite a few times, because it will sort of, like the dark does, this gouache, it tends to just sort of dull out every time it dries. And then we've got another one here. And we've got another one here. Also, I've actually got an extra grape, but we know what they look like, we know how it works, so we can always stick something right. I've got to be careful that I actually hit the right side of that. If you hit the wrong side of it, it's just going to look a bit daft. So Okay, next one is this one here. Right, now what I'd like to do with this is grab my other brush and see that we got, it's a little dark, so we're going to go round and round and round like that. Same with this, round and round and round with this. And grab a tissue and very carefully, like that, slightly a sort of duller hot spot like that. And then we've got another one here, like that. And hit that with it. And we got. Right, one of the things I really do like about these grapes. Oh, Lord, a minute. Let's get rid of that a minute quickly. That's fine. Right, is that they've got some lovely red colours to them. So I'm going to grab, this brush, and I'm going to pick up some of the vibrant red I've got. There's a little bit of water in, and again, just soften them up. That's probably a little too much. I've gone into too much there, so that's looking. This is beautiful. That's fine, and then that's fine. Okay. Now then, this. And then we'll get a bit of this on it as well, a bit of the gouache on it as well. You can always knock things back a little bit if it's a bit dry on these. So it's a case of just come in with a little bit of water and a semi-dry brush and just get rid of the hard edge. They're not as reflective as that. Look at that. That's pretty good. I'm pleased with that. Same with this one. It's just a little bit too hard. So a bit of water on the end of the brush. Yeah, that's good. I'm pleased with that. Right, and we've got a sort of few yellowy type of reflections. So what I'm going to do here, it doesn't work brilliantly with gouache, but it does work with gouache. Grab this for a second. Grab some of that, which is my warm yellow, and we'll put it in, say there. Then we'll grab just a little bit of gouache, mix it in with it. I think it would probably be better if I used Right, has that one got one? Yeah, that one's got one as well, just a little touch, right? Right, now I think what I'm doing now is actually drying my brush and just coming into them and just taking some of the excess away so that there's not so much. And if I don't like them, you can always get rid of them, because that's the beauty of watercolours, you can always undo whatever you've done. I'm not actually unhappy with that, that's not too bad. They are bugging me slightly, might be better off without them, but we'll be right. Okay, yeah, that's not too bad. So we've got a green thing to put in here, so let's grab a bit of yellow. We may have to do the same again with the gouache, we'll see now. We'll grab 2 bits of the yellows, and then we want this sort of, and I feel that's a little bit too warm. I'll try some of this yellow with it. Yeah, I'm going to take that out a little bit. That's better. And then maybe come in with a little bit of gouache. Right, and then just soften them very slightly. Now that's better. I think that's the wrong place to do that. We just want to put a yellow one in, so let's just grab a brush. Saying anything you do with watercolour, you're not happy with it, just a bit of water, bit of tissue, and off it comes. Okay, so now we're just looking at these bottom ones. So we've got one here. I think I'll swap to the rigger. Okay. Right. And with the rigger it means I can now put the highlights on these, and it will grab a little bit of this yellowish type ones. There you go, like that, like that. And we've got one on here as well, like that, and like that, and like that. Okay. Doesn't look terrible. Right, okay. So we're now going to grab the size 2, I think it is, or 4, or whatever the brush is, 4 I think it is. Right, now I want to that's better. Okay, that's good. So I think I'm going to grab some of this and just put this back in. And the same with this one. And the same with this one. Right, let's go back to just softening all of these. Right. The other thing we need to work out is where things are in relation to other things. So I can see that this one is actually on top of this one. So I'm quite sure how to fix that. Actually, it doesn't really matter. We've got a little bit of a shadow going on there, but not a lot. So what we'll do is we'll go for, where are we? A little bit there. And I think we'll grab some of the, oh, go wrong one. We'll grab some of this grape colour, and we're going to just make it so it's a bit more obvious what's where. That's better. Okay. Right, so the grape colour was ultramarine, touch of cadmium red. Yeah, lovely grape. And get a bit on this one as well. That looks good. This one, let's get this back. Right, what I'd like to do is grab a bit of this. Soften this up. Soften that one up. And so this one still has a reflection, so I need to make sure we don't lose that, which is here. It's looking good. But we still need better highlights on what we've got, so I'm going to pick up a little bit more. They look great, but they need better highlights. I mean, like this one particularly needs better highlights. So we're going to go with that one. This one here. This one here, definitely. That one there. And that one there. The other thing is I'm tempted to, I can see some little hints of red in the bottom of this here, and I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to drop that in there. and then grab a bit of that lovely cadmium red, just drop it in like that, and then maybe just a little touch in there, and again get some water. Oh, that one's looking really good. I like that. That's cool. In fact, it's such a nice colour. I'm going to stick some in the next one as well. Like this one has come in too much. Oh, I don't know. That's not bad actually. I like that. And once it dries, do you know what? I think we're nearly there. Yeah, I think we're really nearly there. I'd like this to come in a bit better. It's not. Try and right, I'm going to add a bit of raw yellow to that. That's nice. And I think I'm there. Yeah. Massively happy with that. I think we've got some sort of green going on here. I think really we are there. Done.